Frazzled, Everyday Disasters and Impending Doom by Bookie Vivat. Chapter 6. Well, maybe not everything was changing. At home, things were more or less the same. Peter was still the star player of the high school soccer team. Clara was still as cute and conniving as ever. Apparently now, she was also a budding artist, and she made sure to rub it in my face every time I wanted a snack. Look what she says right here. Mom still seemed to think that middle school was an exciting new adventure, even though it was obviously not. My weekly routine hadn't changed much either. Monday, definitely still the hardest morning of the week. Tuesday, my regular after-school visit to Antonia's. Istefan did have a new double fudge chocolate cake to the selection that he added, but that was a change I could handle. Wednesday, Wheel of Fortune marathon with the family. Even though it was totally unfair that you could lose everything just because the spinner landed on, oh, we don't even want to say that word. Thursday, laundry day. Friday, family dinner with Aunt Lisa. After dinner, she and Mom always watched Law and Order and fell asleep within 20 minutes. I don't think they ever finished an episode, and she'd been coming over for as long as I could remember. At this point, it was basically a Wu family tradition. I used to think this kind of stuff made us boring, but ever since the middle started turning my life upside down, I didn't mind so much. There were enough things changing in my life, thank you very much. Plus, I liked Aunt Lisa. She is an older, tanner version of Mom. Only way kookier. Everyone thinks she's nuts, while Mom calls her a free spirit. Aunt Lisa lives in a mobile home park because she likes the idea of being able to pick up her life and go somewhere new, even though it has been parked in the same exact spot for years. I am almost positive it isn't really mobile anymore, and mobile means when you can drive it from one place to another. Aunt Lisa is very into karma and cosmic energy and something called hot yoga. She is always saying strange things in the middle of dinner. She suddenly stopped eating and declared, "I sense there's an imbalance in the universe." I don't know why she was looking at me. If the universe was imbalanced, it wasn't my fault. Was it? Could it be because I didn't have a thing? Could I really be the only one left in the universe without a thing? I always thought the universe was supposed to send me some kind of sign. Like all of a sudden I would discover that I was a genius at something, and that would be my sign from the universe. And that would be my thing. But so far, nothing. I hoped that the universe would get back on track by the end of dinner, but then Aunt Lisa cornered me in the kitchen and asked, "How is your core?" She must be talking about the middle of your body. I didn't even know I had a core. How was I supposed to know if it was okay? Usually, when adults ask about your life, they want you to spill your guts and tell them everything so they can be involved. Aunt Lisa doesn't really count, though. She isn't your typical adult, the kind that always complains about taxes or insurance claims or real estate. If I was going to talk to anyone about my problems, Aunt Lisa was my best bet. Still, I wasn't always sure I trusted her advice. It usually had something to do with meditating. The woos are not made for meditation. Mom usually falls asleep halfway through, and I clearly can't do it, right? Because both my legs are always numb. Peter's the only one who looks like he's actually meditating. But then one day I found out that he secretly listens to music the whole time. When I confronted him about it, he just shrugged and said, say it with me. Sometimes it's better to do what works for you. Meditation might not be her thing, but it seems to work for Aunt Lisa. She says listening is a part of meditating, and she is a very good listener. When I finished telling her everything, she closed her eyes and was quiet for a long time. I thought she might have fallen asleep. And then all of a sudden she opened her eyes and said, say it with me, sometimes if you stop thinking so much, things just figure themselves out. Stop thinking. That seemed impossible. Even so, I felt better after talking to her. It might have helped that she also treated me to ice cream later. The funny thing is, I did stop thinking about it for a while, but only because I had so much work. Between the group projects, dioramas, book reports, worksheets, essays, write-ups, presentations, tests, quizzes, homework, and reading assignments, there just wasn't time to think about anything else. I got a huge headache just thinking about thinking. Look at her friends over there. And her homeroom teacher down at the bottom, who's also her elective class teacher. Well, that's the end of chapter 7, of 6. And let's take a little sneak preview of what chapter 7 might entail. I'm excited to read it to you soon. Have a good day, kids. And if you're going to middle school after this summer's over, maybe this book will help you a little.